a premium hearing aid quote can hit $4,000, $6,000, even $8,000 before you add follow-up visits, batteries, or protection plans. That is the price trap, assuming the famous brand must be the safest choice. But today, regulated over-the-counter and direct-to-consumer brands are selling hearing aids with app controls, rechargeable cases, trial periods, and transparent pricing for a fraction of that. So the real question is not which brand has the biggest name. It is which one gives you the most hearing help for your money. For this comparison, better does not mean medically superior for every type of hearing loss. It means better value for specific users, mainly adults with perceived mild to moderate hearing difficulty who want clearer speech, easier setup, and lower total cost. Here is the proof standard we will use for every brand. First, price, not just the device cost, but what is included. Second, personalization, hearing tests, sound profiles, frequency adjustments, and whether the app lets you fine-tune real situations like restaurants, television, and phone calls. Third, daily usability, rechargeable design, battery life, comfort, Bluetooth features, and how simple the controls are for someone who does not want a complicated gadget. Fourth, risk protection, trial period, return rules, warranty length, loss coverage, and access to customer support. One important safety note: if you have severe hearing loss, ear pain, drainage, sudden changes, dizziness, or hearing loss mostly on one side, see a licensed hearing professional first. Next comes the major brand benchmark, because cheaper only matters if it solves the same everyday problems. Major prescription hearing aid brands set the benchmark because they combine technology with a clinical service model. You are paying for a hearing test, real ear measurements in many clinics, custom programming, follow-up adjustments, and support from a licensed professional who can fine-tune the devices around your exact hearing profile. The devices themselves can be excellent. Premium models often include strong background noise reduction, directional microphones, feedback control, Bluetooth streaming, rechargeable batteries, tinnitus features, and automatic scene detection that changes settings as you move from a quiet room to traffic or a crowded restaurant. That level of care matters for complex hearing loss, poor speech understanding, unusual ear anatomy, or people who need hands-on help. The problem is that the price is often bundled, so the buyer may not clearly see what portion goes to the device, the fitting, the clinic visits, or the warranty. Total costs can reach several $1,000s. So the real question is narrow but important. For mild to moderate hearing difficulty, is the most expensive path always necessary? The first affordable brand comes closest to that premium experience without the traditional clinic price. Brand number 1, Jabra Enhance. This is one of the strongest alternatives for people who want a modern hearing aid experience without being locked into the traditional clinic first buying process. The appeal starts with convenience. Depending on the model, Jabra Enhance offers rechargeable designs, Bluetooth streaming, and a mobile app that lets you adjust settings from your phone. That matters if you move between quiet rooms, restaurants, phone calls, and television, because you are not stuck with one fixed sound profile. The bigger difference is the support model. With certain Jabra Enhance packages, you can get remote care from hearing professionals who help adjust the devices after purchase. That makes it more guided than a basic sound amplifier, but still more flexible than scheduling every small change through a local office. Pricing is also easier to understand. Instead of a bundled clinic quote where the device, fitting, follow-ups, and warranty may be blended together, Jabra's online packages are usually laid out more clearly. For mild to moderate hearing difficulty, that transparency can make comparison shopping much easier. Jabra Enhance is not the cheapest option on this list, but it may feel the most polished. Next, we look at a brand that goes the opposite direction. Fewer premium extras, but much simpler for everyday use. Brand number 2, Lexi. This is the brand I would look at if someone is buying hearing aids for the first time and feels overwhelmed before they even start. Lexi focuses on over-the-counter hearing aids with app-guided setup, self-fitting tools, and controls that are meant to be understandable without a clinic appointment. Instead of asking you to learn a complicated fitting process, the app walks you through the basics, helps personalize the sound, and gives you a way to make adjustments from home. That matters because many first-time buyers do not need the most most advanced hearing aid on the market. They need clear instructions, simple volume and environment controls, and enough support to feel confident using the devices every day. Lexi's real advantage is reducing the fear of doing something wrong. Compared with a major clinic-centered brand, Lexi lowers the barrier to entry. You can try hearing help through a more direct, consumer-friendly model without starting with multiple appointments or a large bundled quote. Lexi is not the choice for every complex hearing loss, but for mild to moderate needs, it makes the first step feel manageable. Next, the list shifts again to a brand with a very different strength: consumer electronics design. From a name many people already know. Brand number 3, Sony over-the-counter hearing aids. This is where hearing care starts to look less like a medical purchase and more like consumer technology. Sony entered the over-the-counter category with devices aimed at adults with perceived mild to moderate hearing loss. Instead of building the experience around a clinic visit, Sony leans into app-based setup, direct retail access, and small designs that feel familiar to people who already use wireless earbuds and smartphone accessories. The lineup includes discrete in-the-ear models, including compact options that sit deep enough to avoid the traditional hearing aid look. Depending on the model, you may get rechargeable convenience or a tiny replaceable battery design focused on size. The point is clear. Sony is trying to make hearing help feel less intimidating at the moment you start wearing it. Against a major clinic-centered brand, Sony's advantage is friction. You can shop through modern retail channels, set up the devices through an app, and manage basic adjustments without building the entire process around appointments. That can mean less time, fewer steps, and a buying experience that feels closer to other personal electronics. Sony will not replace professional care for complex hearing needs, but for the right user, it proves that hearing aids can be discreet, accessible, and designed with consumer usability first. Next, we move to a brand that did not just make discretion a feature, it made near invisibility part of its identity. Brand number 4, Eargo, the company that built its reputation around hearing aids most people will not notice. Argo's main appeal is the in-canal design. These devices sit inside the ear instead of behind it, making them one of the more discreet options for adults with mild to moderate hearing loss. For someone who has delayed buying hearing aids because they dislike the visible medical look, that design choice matters. The day-to-day experience is also built around convenience. Argo models use rechargeable cases, so you are not constantly handling tiny batteries. Newer versions add app-based personalization, letting users adjust settings and fine-tune the sound without turning every small change into an office visit. This is where Argo separates itself from a major clinic-centered premium brand. The value is not a full-service medical package with in-person fitting at the center. The value is comfort, invisibility, and a product that fits into normal routines with less attention drawn to it. Argo is not for every type of hearing loss, and people with more complex needs should get a professional evaluation. But for the right mild to moderate user, it is the affordable premium choice for staying discreet. The final brand goes in the opposite direction: maximum savings with fewer luxury features. Brand number 5, MD Hearing, the value workhorse for people who want basic hearing help without paying premium brand prices. MD Hearing is a direct-to-consumer company, which means you can buy online instead of starting with a clinic visit. Its products are built for common age-related hearing difficulty, especially the everyday problems: television volume, conversations at home, and hearing speech more clearly in quieter settings. The strongest argument for MD Hearing is price. The brand often sells rechargeable models, simple volume and program controls, and bundles or seasonal discounts that can bring the total cost far below traditional premium hearing aids. MD Hearing deserves attention. The trade-off is that you are not buying prestige, a high-end feature stack, or the same hands-on fitting experience you would expect from a clinic-centered premium brand. Setup is more self-managed, and people with severe hearing loss, complicated hearing profiles, or medical ear symptoms should involve a licensed professional before choosing any device. So MD Hearing can be better than a major premium brand when the goal is practical hearing support at the lowest sensible cost. Next, we put all 5 brands into a final decision matrix because the real winner depends on your hearing needs, budget, and how much support you want after purchase. Here's the decision matrix. If you want the closest premium-like experience for less, Jabra Enhance is the strongest pick because it combines solid sound processing, app control, and remote professional support. If you're new to hearing aids and want a simple starting point, Lexi makes the most sense because the setup is guided and the experience is less intimidating. If you want the most consumer tech feel, Sony stands out with familiar design, self-fitting tools, and easy daily controls. If your priority is a discreet design, Argo is the brand to compare first, especially if you want an almost invisible in-ear option. If the lowest sensible price matters most, MD Hearing is the value choice. But the major brand still wins for complex hearing loss, in-person fitting, advanced medical support, or strong insurance and clinic benefits. Do not buy on price alone. Trial periods, returns, support, and comfort can matter more than specs. The best hearing aid is the one that matches your hearing, lifestyle, support needs, and budget. Thanks for watching, and comment which brand you would compare first. Affordable hearing aids can beat a major brand for the right person, especially on value, convenience, and everyday usability. Before you buy, compare the trial period, warranty, support model, return policy, and whether the device fits your actual hearing loss. Thanks for watching. Comment your budget or current hearing aid brand and subscribe for more evidence-based hearing tech comparisons.